My name is Randall Christians. I'm the current winemaker at Rustenberg Wines. Working here for the last 15 years, but took over the range since 2008. And the wine that we are going to taste here today is, to me, what I normally describe the most challenging wine to make at Rustenberg. It's the Merriman 2007 Bordeaux blend. And it's got all the 5 Bordeaux varieties, normally about 50% Cabernet Sauvignon, 40% Merlot, and the rest, normally 10 or 15%, would be made up of Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec. And why I say this wine is very challenging to make, we normally have about, easily some years, up to 41 different batches coming into the cellar, all being vinified separately, so you look after each batch as one of your babies. And normally, after about 10 or 9 months, we start putting the blend together. So it's quite a challenging event, normally taking place over 2 days, where we draw samples of all the various batches and taste through the different batches, bearing in mind that we need to get a top quality wine out eventually, and also bearing in mind what volume we require of that specific wine. So yeah, it's quite challenging, and as I say, the tasting normally takes about 2 days before you come to a final conclusion of what's going to going into making up the Bordeaux blend to Merriman eventually. What I like, or what I do know about this wine basically, is it may differ in terms of characteristics year after year, because it's a natural thing and you are being dictated by what the climate and the weather offers you for a specific vintage. But at Rustenberg we are blessed with the oldest soil types in South Africa, namely Tukulu. And what I found that soil to sort of infect in this wine is there's always this, every year there's a sort of austerity and a minerality in the wines, coupled with what we have on the farm growing, what we call fynbos, which contributes giving sort of herbiness or spicy flavors to the wine. But I like the wine, and I think this wine can easily be enjoyed with your normal meats, red meats, steak, and so on. Yeah, as I say, quite a challenging wine, but in the end, I always find this wine be very rewarding, especially thinking back of what went into making this type of wine. Yeah, as I said, on the nose it's coming through the black currant, the cherries, that I think it's mainly an attribute of the Cabernet Sauvignon. But there's a softness on the wine which I think is mainly due to the fact that we've got a good proportion of Merlot in the wine. But the wine is also nicely being finished off, and I think it's being brought nicely in balance with the oak regime, which in this case is about 40 to 45% brand new French oak barrels, and the rest would normally be second full barrels, and the wine would stay in barrel for about 22 months on average every year. And on the nose, as I mentioned earlier, definite herbs, black currants, black cherries, and a really soft wine, because the wine is, to me, in a very fine balance in terms of acid and tannin structure. Quite an easy wine to drink, really, but again, it's got the ability to age, I would easily say, for another 10 to 15 years. So that's basically my favorite wine, as I say, and why I favor the wine is because it's such a challenge, really, to make this wine a successful wine.